So I'm watching Janda, and he's growing. I think I'm at like 30,000 followers. The first 5 was easy to get. The next 5 was hell to get, because I'm like, I've exhausted my friends and family network or my students. I would literally tell them in class, like, you guys need to follow me. It's just, it's part of class. It really is. I'm grading you on the fact that you know how to follow instructions.
Y'all don't want to fail.
Yeah, don't fail that. I was freaking growing 8 followers a month. No, because I had 8 students, that's kind of how I was smashing social. I just keep working at this. I'm like, I don't know what works here. I don't know what to share. It feels really weird. So Janda is coming out of nowhere. I'm like, dude, I cannot let this older white guy freaking catch up to me. This is not right. It's just not right. But he's growing, and I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. Using this carousel thing. And I can see the playbook, even if somebody doesn't tell me. I got to hear Eros and Hugh talk about, Acronym, the clothing brand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, streetwear. Eros and Hugh is the founder or co-founder. And I saw him speak at an event one time before I got to know him. And he said something like, don't copy what people do. Copy the thinking or the process or the methodology of what they do. That requires you to have some higher level view of this thing. Because if they cut something diagonally, you cut something diagonally just like them, then you're just copying what they do. But if you try to understand, they're trying to create asymmetrical forms, you might find a different way of expressing that. So when I look at Janda's post, I know what he's doing. This is all from his book. I already know this. So he wrote a book, and he's peeling back chapters of his book, which is also driving traffic to a course that he's selling. I can see the playbook. I meet him. I'm like, dude, you're doing it. This is awesome. He goes, Chris, you have to do this. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I just needed you to say this on TV so that people don't say you took Janda's playbook. And I give him lots of credit for showing me that you can use 10 slides. Before then, it was 3 slides. And I even know that it switched over to 10. It's one of those things like, duh. And so I was thinking, you're using a keynote. I don't have a book, but I have not hundreds, but approaching 100 keynotes, of which there are a couple hundred slides per keynote. Started doing that. And eventually you get into a cadence and you figure out what works. And it took a little while to make it work. So my goal was to get 10,000 new followers in 2 weeks. I got 20,000 followers in 2 weeks. And now I'm like, I'm a genius. I know how this works, But I was dedicating 2 weeks of my life to figuring this out. I cleared my schedule. Nobody talked to me. I'm just going to figure this out. First day, made 1 post. Second day, made 1 post. And I knew I had to post 3 or 4 times a day to get to 10,000. But once you catch the wave and you get into rhythm, by about little after midweek, I started to figure out the cadence. I can increase the volume of content I was producing. I figured it out to a degree, and I started to grow really, really fast. So that was from 30,000 to 50,000 to 70,000. This is happening in weeks amount of time.
Damn.
That's insane. And it's similar to growing this pod. We started out just doing 1 reel a week or something. Yeah. And then we hired on a person to help us. And now we're post 3 times a day. And it has been crazy because people just share it. And then one of them will kick off and they're all kicking off at once. And that is the reason, going back to your point, I think talking about Michael Janda and the thing that he was doing, we tell people to look at what the best people are doing in the respective space that you want to get into and say, what little tiny thing can I take from this? What is that person doing? Right. He's posting these carousels. Great. Or this person's posting vertical video on a horizontal platform. Why is it working? And kind of take these little details and put it into the things you're doing, and you'll be drastically further ahead 6 months from now if you just do it consistently.